Yeah, so I don't know what we're going to record for this Kickstarter video. It's just a very different thing.
You're saying the first video, we were in perfect conditions. Now we're in the trenches, you know?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. How do we record a commercial? Oh gosh, how are we gonna do this?
Are we gonna do a countdown? Is that how this works? I don't know. Are we just gonna?
I'm gonna do a
now?
3-2, and I'm gonna introduce myself, and that'll probably be a good cue to introduce yourself afterwards.
Okay. All right. I'm in.
3, 2. Greetings. I am Arnoux, the head game designer over at DWRPG, and I'm joined by Nick.
Hey guys. Yes, I'm Nick, the co-designer of DWRPG as well. I was asked about this on Friday by a friend, and I was like, I think that DWRPG is like a great, everyone could be a great first person's game into the hobby.
So when we were doing the first trailer, and I know I don't want to dwell, but when we were doing the first trailer, we had a game that was full of wonder and possibility of who knows, it's gonna be great, trust us, it's amazing. But now it's just go play it. It's absolutely fantastic. It's so good.
Now we have the actual evidence that you guys can see and play for yourselves. We've taken the responses from some people from our beta test to change the game and make it better. And I believe fully that it is in a state that, we're showing it out for free for you guys so that you can test it and you can see how fun this game is with people. And just the banana stories that you can make with these, with this game is just, it's infinite possibilities. You can go anything from a grounded, serious event.
Have you ever had to team up with your fellow wrestlers, some of whom are your rivals, in order to fight an insane asylum of escapees and surgeons trying to tie you up in crazy bondage gear? I think not. But you can in DWRPG.
Yeah, it's one of those. You can have something as crazy, weird, and horror-filled as Beta Beach's ending was, or you could have something a little bit more grounded and something. In one of the other Kickstarter exclusive
grounded and
playbooks
boring, I think, is what you were thinking, but didn't want to say.
Or you could have your 80s throwback action film with Against the Machine, or you could have this.
Did you ever want to be grounded and boring? I thought not. Play DWRPG.
Yeah. It's a game with ultimate possibilities. You could be an 80s action star. You could be the savior of a horror film. You could be traveling the world and trying to grab chips faster than your opponent. There's so many options.
I can't wait. I cannot wait until we do a storyline where it is an actual war with bombs and guns and cannons that can only be solved by wrestling.
It is insane.
That's gonna be. I'm surprised we haven't made that playbook already.
It'll probably be in the works.
Be out by next year.
Yeah. World War Wrestling 2, probably.
World War Wrestling 2. Two countries need to duke it out with their best with their best crews and just fight it out. I want to talk about the potato sack, because I think the potato sack was a very funny moment in DWRPG. Of
which one?
No, just the whole concept in general of the fact that we had Tito come in, be like, so I want to be the Boise Bruiser from Idaho. And then he's like, I want a potato sack and hit people with it. And we're like, sure, it's your strike, whatever. But then he became a gladiator, started with a bludgeon, got a belt, and put all of his points into proficiency with this weapon to have, very specifically, a +3 potato sack that he could beat people up with. So much so that I ended up putting it in World War Wrestling.
I think that's probably one of the... There's a lot of highlights in Beta Beach that are just funny to me. Like for me, the one that comes up immediately in my mind was in the finale when Hawks leaves, and you're like, Hawks, oh, that's a good idea, Hawks, go get the police. And he's like, not gonna do that. And he comes back with a gun, and you're like, how do you have that? And I'm like, it's his, he won it. And you were like, no, yeah, that makes sense now. Yeah. That's one of my favorite. But another one of the funny points is also tied to Boise. Was this constant, like, everyone was like, we gotta be better than the Boise Bruiser. And no matter what match he was in, he somehow ended up on top. And I just find his whole character super hilarious for that sort of slapstick character that he created in it.
I will say I also enjoy, this is not Beta Beach, this is Against the Machine. I also enjoyed just in Against the Machine fighting all the mannequins with our guys, and the climb upwards of us showing we're unstoppable. We can beat anything. God, this is so easy. And then it immediately just started going downhill. There was just a round that was a turn. I was like, oh, and they've eliminated 2 of our wrestlers. And we're like, oh, okay.
And I like how seemingly that happened again. Where I think it was the second or third
during
show,
the gauntlet.
We were in the gauntlet. Yeah, and we were like, we're smoking these robots, hell yeah. And then, like, we got to, like, 4th or 5th robot in, and we were like, oh no, this is it.
Well, we...
Sacrifice.
We lost Iron Voltage, right? And then we were like, well, you know, it was bad, but expected. Yeah. But I have this crazy plan, you know, we're going to send these guys in. They're going to do a move that's going to make it all work out, and it's going to be crazy. Let me just roll 15 dice, and I need... you know, to get 6 or something. Like, no big deal. And then I got whatever, 5. And I was like, oh.
I think
well, maybe I did. It was just like, oh no.
Like that.
Oh no, it all goes downhill from here. And we lost. We lost a man because of that. We lost D'Angelo because of that move.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that was a crazy point there. I liked how also the through line of Against the Machine was that your guys, the guys that you created, were like really efficient in the game, but me, I just was like, I'm gonna make it like a flyer, and I'm gonna make a powerhouse. And we kept getting to the point where we're like, what's my character's win condition? And I was like, I mean, they look good. They like to dance and jump really high. That's all I got.
So much combat. I lost 2 of my guys so that your idiots could live.
It's very true that the lovable idiots are like a good point. Rip Handsome is like a fun character to me. To just, yeah, he's this powerhouse who just now has like a couple of like I can put you away moves, but before then he was just trying to look good and be a good clone, like a good looking clone. I'm just saying
that people died for his sins.
He still won though.
No, he survived. He's
champion of the people.
Champion of the people. That's
champion
true.
of the people. He pinned the Reaper.
Did he?
I don't think he pinned him. I think did we go to a lights out? Was that how?
I think it was in a blackout, lights out, but
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, maybe Rip did win. Oh, yeah, because the Reaper rolled really low.
He did. Yeah. And I was like, oh, no, Rip's dead here. R.I.P. Rip. And he rolled, like, maybe 2 or 3 better. And I was like, oh, my God, that shouldn't have happened. Like, no way.
It's crazy. And it just goes to show, DWRPG has already given us so many stories. And I think it can give you some pretty crazy stories as well.
One of the funnest aspects of TTRPGs is creating a character, and my God, can the characters in this game go buck wild. Because you can have, like, certain settings, I feel like, sort of lean towards a more serious approach to the hobby. But this one, you could still have those more serious approach to it. But, like, often than not, through our beta testing, everybody had a lot of fun with just, like, you know, I'm gonna play a demon, like, zealot character for, like, Cthulhu, or I'm just a guy from Idaho with a huge bag of potatoes and I'm gonna use that as a weapon, or like I'm a showman from a carnival and I'm pissed off that I haven't gotten my chance. You know, it's like these, like, sort of more crazier interpretations for, like, something that, you know, you have your serious games, and then you can have, like, just a fun, hyper energy game in DWRPG that's, I don't know, I think it deserves a spot in the TTRPG space.
It's a good game. But download the quick starts, download the pre-made characters, play Voice of the Machine so that you can
play
float like a dingo and sting like the machine.
Play Voice of the Machine, play D'Angelo, and it's gonna be a fun
Play
time.
Gianni D'Angelo because he's gonna come and break your throat. You know, just have a fun time with it. It's a good game, and back us.
Tell your friends.